And we are back for Event 3 of the Marvel Superior Season 4 Showdown with the third event, block bumping. Nothing really to remark here since the rules are the same as we saw this event a little bit ago in the main league. It was won by the Holographics, or the Black Blasters, and Team Toxin. Nothing has changed in this event, the layout is still the same. And we're going to see the overall standings of the Showdown. The Candy Crushers, who just won the Whirlwinds, took the lead in the Showdown standings over the Fantastics and Timberwolves. Cold Knights, Galaxies, Clover Crew, and Aurora Ambience are the bottom four, and right now in the relegation zone. Volcanoes just over the cutoff line, who are competing first. Yes, we are starting right with them. Every team will go through this first yellow funnel as we saw in the main league, and the first marble for the Volcanoes is through. And they give a decent push for the first one. The second one is pretty okay, but it's not looking too far. And the last one barely pushes it. That did not seem like a good run. 54.3. Jeez, that is a poor push to start off the event. That is not looking auspicious for them for the rest of the event. And that final one barely hitting the block at all. Team Octopi need to do the bare minimum to get by them. Let's see if they can do it. They got fourth in the last event after getting last in the first event. Let's see if they can keep that momentum going. Trying to see which marble goes first, and the first two coming down in quick succession. The first one nearly falling out of the lane. The second one does nearly nothing. Same with the third one. And that might be on the similar caliber of the Volcanoes, and it is. 54.5 will take the lead. And really, though, is that really just taking the lead over just doing a little bit better? That's just awful push. That both of those pushes would have came last in the main league, and by quite a large margin. Triforces, the third run in this third event. And let's see if they can't get third place at this point, right? Let's see, they have to do the bare minimum to get by, but that did not age well for Team Octopi. And the first push is decent. Second one is already looking better than the first two runs. Third push is great. How about the fourth one? Oh, it's gonna knock it out of the track. And that was near 90. That would have been the polar opposite to what the first two runs were. And now they have to go again. Already, we have our second run. If the block goes out of the track, remember, it is invalid, and they have to get the second try, which is their final chance. First two pushes are pretty good. How about the third and fourth one? Third one coming down, very strong push, and the fourth one will finish it off. Very strong for the Triforce. The 79.4 will put them obviously in first. Almost up to that 80 point. Over 20 centimeters, 25 almost, ahead of Team Octopi. 20, almost exactly 25 ahead of the Volcanoes. Now the Timberwolves. The team in third place in the standings after winning the first event and coming 8th in the second one. Let's see how they do here. This first marble will come down in a bit, and it will be Gorge. How will they do? Oh, they're stuck! They're gonna get ricocheted backward. That's gonna mean that the Timberwolves only get 3 pushes. It's very strong. But what could have been if that marble didn't get stuck? We saw that happen to Solstice Squad in the main league. And that will mean that the Timberwolves only get a 69.6. Which is worse than the Yellow Jackets run by 1 millimeter in the main league. Unfortunate for Gorge, the reserve of the Timberwolves, getting stuck at the top. Hopefully that will not happen to anyone else throughout the event. Now, the Candy Crushers. Of course, the team sitting in first place in the standings after a very impressive gold in Whirlwinds. How will they do here? They just sit 10 points above the Fantastics in the standings. How will they do? First push, they spin the block. Rotate, I mean. Second one's alright. Third one is very good. How about the fourth one? Oh, it's going to knock it out of the track, and that is just barely out of the lane. It was going to be over 80, so the Candy Crushers will just have to go again. Wow, already in the first 5 runs, we have 2 reruns. That is very interesting. We had 2 in the main league, but they were in the second half of teams. And the first 2 will come down, almost passing each other in the green fork. Oh, very good second push, along with a decent first one. Third push is going to make it very far. And the fourth one, that is a very strong push. Not quite up to 90, but 84.9 will take the lead by 5 centimeters, 5.5 centimeters. Very strong for the Candy Crushers, already crushing this competition. And they are looking to possibly get another medal, as that would have gotten a medal, I believe, in the main league. I think that's just a little bit above Team Toxin's run, if I remember correctly. Now, the Galaxies, a team in the relegation zone, they really need to step it up after 2 very mid finishes. First push is not great. How about the second one? That's alright. Not looking great so far. The third one will do nothing, and the fourth one will actually do better than the third one, which doesn't happen often. 63.8 will put them in 4th. And you know it's bad when the only 2 runs they're better than are the Volcanoes and Team Octopi. You know, runs in the 50s. So that is not strong at all from the Galaxies. That would have came 15th in the main league, just above the Gracious Glaciers. Now the Rose Bushes. I don't really know how this team is going to do. I don't remember how they did in block push last season. I'm going to assume it was poor. So let's see how they do in block bumping. As the first marble comes down, and they're going to give a decent, actually a very good push. Second one's not great. How about the third one? Oh, that gets it nowhere. This is not looking like a good run. But the final push is going to be phenomenal and get it up to 80. 79 flat will put the Rose Bushes in 3rd. Wow, what a recovery. I think that's an even better recovery than the Blueberry Blasters, because look, they're at like the 50s, and then that final marble pushes it up towards 80. Phenomenal run by the Rose Bushes. If only it wasn't for those first 3 runs, maybe they could have gotten a much better push if the caliber of that last push was the same as what it was. Now the Fantastics, after that very shocking run, and whoa, one of their marbles goes airborne in the lane, and it's looking pretty okay. How will their final marble do? And it's pretty good. I think that's over 80. And yes, it is. 81.3 will be worse than the Candy Crushers, but still a very strong run for a team who I don't think anyone expected to do that well. Coming in last, I think, in the friendly round. Doing very well so far here, possibly going for their 3rd medal. But 81.3, I think, would only get like 6th in the main league. So, let's see. Honestly, well, overall, these runs so far have been way worse than what we saw in the main league, especially with those first 2. Onyx Orbs, a team who has done pretty decent in block push in the past. Let's see how they do here. And their first marble coming down. Not a great push. But the second one. Second one is very strong. Getting out of the way of their first one. And, oh, the third one wasn't great, but the fourth one carries the run to 84, I think. 83.8, just shy of the 84 mark. Will put the Onyx Orbs in 2nd place. Very strong run by them. The 2nd and 4th pushes were the highlights of the run. The 3rd one did alright, and the 4th one was phenomenal. I don't think it was as good as the Rose Bush's anchor, but very strong nonetheless. Now the Rouge Ravens. This team got a bronze in the last event and got 13th at event 1. So let's see how they do here. I don't necessarily remember them doing great in block push, so let's see how they do here. First 2 pushes aren't great. Third one, which is barely pushing it at all. And the final one will actually be maybe the best of the run. And 6th, 71.5, just very average. There was really nothing special about the run, other than maybe their final marble doing pretty decent. The Rouge Ravens will put themselves in 6th place. Colorful Crew now. This team is in the relegation zone, so they really have to do well here. They are in 15th place. I think Turquoise got like 14th last event, so it's not looking good for them, but can they do better here? As Crimson will come down first. They're actually going in color order, I think. Very strong first push. Not a great second push. How about the third push? Oh, where did that go? What is Turquoise going to do for this anchor? That is a phenomenal push. What is with these anchors doing so well? 79.9 will put them in 4th place. And maybe going from the worst push we've seen this event. Look, Verdant didn't even ricochet off his members, but Turquoise carried the run to almost 80. Now Aviation Nation, a team sitting kind of low in the standings because of a poor last event, but a very good first event, getting 4th. And down they come. Let's see how they do here. They've never competed in block push, obviously, so we're going to see what they can do here. First push is alright. Second push and third push are alright as well. Can the anchor do what the others have been doing? No, they actually fall off the track. 64.6 will put them in 9th. And above the Galaxy's Team Octopi and Volcanoes. 3 very poor runs, so it's not looking good for Aviation Nation in this event. They might actually fall to the relegation zone, who knows. Plasma Pulses. They won this event, well, they won Block Push in the Season 3 Showdown. Let's see if they can translate that into Block Bumping. It's a very interesting event. You have to take your Block Push skills and translate them into a much different kind of event, where everyone is separated from each other. First 2 pushes are pretty alright. Third and fourth one's going to carry it to near 80, I think. And it will be a 76.2, so alright. That's actually, honestly, the competition is very steep. A lot of runs in the 70s and 80s so far. Well, only 3 runs in the 80s. Just a few in the 70s. Fertile Fighters, they are the antepenultimate run of the event. So, let's see how they do here. They did not do very well in any block push, I should say. As they competed in all 3 of them. First push is very strong. Same with the second one. How about the third one? Third one is very good. Could this take the lead? The fourth one is going to give a decent push. 84.5 by 4 millimeters. They slot behind the Candy Crushers and are almost guaranteed a medal in this event. But this does mean that the Candy Crushers are also guaranteed a medal. And at least guaranteed no worse than a bronze. Cold Knights. A team who I don't think did very well in block pushing last season in the Showdown. What can they do here? They are in the relegation zone, by the way. Just 11 points. So they have to step it up here to get out of it. First 2 pushes. Very strong from both of those. Might be the strongest first 2 pushes we've seen. Third one's okay. The fourth one needs to be really good. And it's not bad, but that might actually take the lead. And it won't. It's going to be an 84.7. And only just takes second place by 2 millimeters. They are guaranteed a podium. And the Candy Crushers are guaranteed no worse than a silver. So they are going to have an 100% rate of getting top 2 finishes in the first 3 events. Now, Aurora Ambience, the team sitting in last in the standings, are the final run of the event. How can they show up here? As they are easily the worst team so far, even though doing very well in the friendly round. First push is actually very strong. Second and third one, does nothing. They're going to have to recover for a good run here, and it will be. Very strong final push will get them to an 81 flat and put them in 6th place. The first push was actually maybe one of the best we've seen all event. Second and third one, wow, that barely did anything. And then the final push got out of the way of the other team, or the other marbles, I should say, and we'll put them in 6th. But the Candy Crushers winning their 2nd gold in a row. Phenomenal by them, and they are so far looking to be guaranteed to be out of relegation. They're going to be winning this event over the Cold Knights and the Fertile Fighters, 2 teams who have not podiumed so far in this Showdown. Congratulations to all 3 of them. That's going to shoot the Cold Knights up the standings. Same with the Fertile Fighters. And if we look at the overall standings, the Candy Crushers now have a 24-point lead over the Fantastics. Timberwolves not too far behind. Fertile Fighters jumped to 4th, and Cold Knights 8 up to 5th. Onyx works in 6th, and Rouge Ravens in 7th. It is very close to the relegation zone but right now it's the Aurora Ambience, Team Octopi, Galaxies, and the Volcanoes. So it's looking very close between those. Next event will be Storm Survival. I'll see you there. Goodbye.